Hello. Okay, so we're going to start the next portion. So the undergraduate reader is Jhani Rwanda. She's a fourth-year undergraduate student. She is studying poetry, humanity, and the art of environmental politics. She comes from sunny Southern California in the American South. She first featured in the Sarah Lawrence Festival in her freshman year. Throughout the years, she's assisted the festival. She always knows someone who knows someone. Just like her poetry, she's energetic, smart, and evoking. Please welcome someone who is special to this SLC family, festival family, Jhani.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for coming. I want to thank Jeffrey and Joanna and Tatiana and Kay and all the grad students for putting this together. It's awesome. It's really awesome. And you guys are a great team to work with also. So thank you. I hope you guys are enjoying it. I am really honored to be reading with Joelle and Will and to be included in this idea of like a necro-pastoral and the rotten. It's really cool. I'm excited. Okay, so I'm not really sure also, I've been deciding what I'm gonna read. It's been a harrowing kind of a process, but I'm just gonna go for it. So my first poem is called Perspective with Parmigianino and Ashberry, and it's kind of a regurgitation, a reaction to Ashberry's poem, Reflection in Convex Mirror. So, here we go. I'm also not sure really how to read it because his poem, is set on 2 columns, and sometimes there are 2 people reading at the same time, so I'm just gonna see what happens. All right. Perspective. Also, the visual spectacle translated, beginning the context for self-examination, the scientific differentiation of this observation, sweeping or current, the soul establishes itself. Roots, neither unchangeable nor permanent, in a whole, in a diet, to question towards a monumentality. Burrowing backward and inside mahogany, quiet, that never materialized, to resist or remain because she is just an image. Projections of light and angles, but to resist or remain because she is just an image. Or glass. Culture, with art, its guide, loses pace in bodies, as in mind. The inferior surface is concave. I watch your disillusion. I build it of porcelain and plastic, actively disengaged from your tradition. There are thousands constructing, several Mo to Z, A to me, gathered in coats and hole-proof shoes, shovels and gazes lacely draped over catalogs, awaiting the logical sequence of collapse, or as some call it, deconstruction. As darkness resumes, a subject, an object, a vacillating address, complete with violet blooms and doors to unlatch and exit, to look out and gather, an understanding of organically complex processes determined and carried by success. Recollection is a hushed hall. It is not only vision, but an expression of hollows, past language dragged from a deep body. My guru in these matters is yourself. Retching in the urn against newsprint walls, I watch your shoulders shivering in the doorframe as you sweep away the remnants of philosophy. Why I am devoid of approach or arrival, or the densest impression of a thing. Why sometimes I am devoid of this poem and the process of accumulation, this turning over, and I in the palm, bending it between thumb and index finger into the light, to live, in fact, accumulations and protection are necessary. It exists in a society specifically organized as a demonstration of itself. Can the fool take ownership? Is the fool a negation of the moment? The incline of recollection is steepest before a precipice, which is urgently implied through lines and shapes, shadows pointing mercilessly towards reintegration, arms folding in, the geometric flavor of smoke and breeze, symptom of a thing shut out for too long. She seeks one remnant in the pageant of hands, fluttering over eyes, like many thirsty moths, or curtains drawn around a window. I didn't time myself, so I'm just going to go into the next ones. These two are part of a series that I was working on with Kathy last semester, Kathy.com. And yeah, exactly, yes. Hell yeah. And so this is kind of, I don't really want to give much of an intro, but I was working with the idea of an organic history. So, New Roman. After the truck broke down, we unloaded years beneath the mesa, its architecture of colossus protruding like a once broken jaw. Our first cross-country move, arriving at rosy clay, I think it touched me in the worst way until my insides shared its color. Plateau shadows become the coolly dutiful and invisible pillars that root context. The adults piled boxes, and the organs of dwelling became threshold. Worked at, worked, and then relenting. Aja. Was it resilience? It was something like a missionary licking India's blue soil. We grapple with possession. We eat this with day. Our daughter is given away. After years, I am seeing my constitution gestured in earth. We paw at the entombed greenhouse in our backyard, like cicadas emerging from incubation. 5 straight days of clearing out this rack of foliage. 5 straight days. Suddenly, thick Coke bottles and ribbed vials, the crumbling remains of a small Cold War-era rocket, are the same as that otherness, like tetanus in the land, which turns us rusted, red, and foreign. Mama tenderly archives the subaltern, preserving its markers. She will grow flowers in the base of the old fuel tank for the next 7 years. I bring her a tumbler of salted lemonade. It sweats in the unfamiliar southern sun. With a palm on her forehead, she concentrates on how to restore this mausoleum or arrange the strange roots as her own, how to inherit an empire. Somehow, this country is Earth. It resists itself. New Roman 2. Pollution enters through openings such as the mouth and the ear. Gradually, the universe is exhaled. If the Ganges is the Mississippi, is reddish blood is the father, I spell it in the submerged moon. After years, I am sensing a temperature too hot for Genesis. We eat the stuff with day to cool our tongues, the way we walk, the panting breath, after years. If I've broken my own back, then what? The blue under my fingernails tells me that the sickness still lives in my blood. It is the same blue of the vast Pacific, which left a piece of your body in ritual. The way you died. We ran out to the ocean and touched our faces. And I'm trying to decide if I want to read you one that I recently wrote that I haven't edited that I kind of just want to read. I think I'm going to do that. Okay. Yeah, okay. I've been reading Charles Olson a lot, and this is an idea of him with a weird experience. So it's not the ghost experience that I had, it's a different one. Okay, so the projected verse. The projected verse was a hole in the eastern cliff of her, a silly martyr in last planar universe. Wednesday. Here, the Habemus. What? Because you're a goddess, he said. Well, and no matter what, I'm taking a shower. She said, you can read on the toilet. You wanted to read. I think you're fucking crazy. The more I exist, I feel all the more that the universe, at least the last universe, the only universe, exists within me. It's directed and caught in tabular verse, in tormented tabular binaries, and trapped in a seditious funk. I'm trapped in that funk against myself. Voices in the tavern of the multivarious. It's going to be hot, he said. I beg you, dear master. I beg you, only monster. What is the ghastly, wanting the only devices that have been ever like the below dogma? Timber is the blood. Was that her first? And, I'm